Hey, it's Jack from Jack Gately Real Estate and the Online Real Estate Academy. I want to talk about how I built my business and the number of different ways that I leverage my license for multiple revenue streams. Now, this video isn't to show you how I do that so that you can do it the exact same way. I think that would be an absolute positive mistake. The way I run my business is the way that works for me, and the way you should run your business is the way it should work for you. So take this as just one perspective and then reflect upon it until you can kind of carve your own path that suits your needs. And of course, the type of business that I've grown here is a vertical business. In other words, somehow involved with one business, one vertical, real estate. I'm not also running a burger joint, right? Let's go to the chalkboard to talk about that more. Most people that have a business, whether it's real estate or a burger joint, for instance, if they want to expand, they don't add on like some totally different type of business like a hardware store. No, instead they go narrow but deep. In other words, the burger joint comes up with more variations of different types of burgers, and they become a specialist in burgers, and because that's what they do. And most people that run a business run it in this particular fashion. I've decided to be a little bit more horizontal, so to speak, in the way I run my business, but still within the real estate vertical. You see, the strength of becoming narrow but deep is because you become a specialist in that one thing. You get known for that one thing, and then you can expand from there if you want to. It also means that you're the go-to person. It almost basically makes you a monopoly. If you're the go-to person for that one particular specialist. I can think of two real estate agents right off the top of my head here in Plymouth, Massachusetts, that are like this. One specializes in waterfront property. If I think about selling a waterfront property, I think of this one agent here in Plymouth. Now, she sells other things, but she's built her reputation, she's built her business upon marketing herself as the go-to person for waterfront property. I can think of another agent. She lives in a 55-plus community here in town, and she has basically cornered the market on anything sold in this one 55-plus golf course community, which is fairly small. And if you sell a house in that community or a condo, you sell it with her because she has gone narrow but very deep. And as a result, she almost has like a monopoly on it. Now, it's not an official monopoly. Of course, anybody can compete against her. But of course, you can see the benefits of this type of strategy. Most people follow that type of strategy. But I'm not most people, and I realize, of course, that I'm my own worst enemy, as we all are. And I have one, like, flaw that I've decided to make one of my biggest advantages. And the flaw is I get bored. And if I just focused on one deep, narrow niche, I'd be bored real soon. So, that's just me. And so I've learned this in politics. You always want to make your weakness your biggest strength. And so I've decided to do that the way I run my business. So my business is a little bit more stretched out, a little more horizontal, because that's what works for me. You need to do what works for you. So here at Jack Gately Real Estate, we have, of course, me, Jack, and I have any number of different deals that are in at least 3 different categories. Residential sales, rentals, and as many of you know, I'm a big fan of rentals. I actually started in this business part-time doing rentals, and commercial real estate. So, commercial real estate has kind of fallen a little bit, for me at least. The pandemic was really hard on the portion of commercial real estate that I do. I still have one commercial real estate listing on the market right now, but I'm a big believer in it because it can lead to bigger and better things, just like rentals, and they tend to be more longer-term relationship, repeat customer types of things, just like rentals if you're dealing with landlords. Residential, you sell someone's house, you might help them buy another house, but it's not the long-term relationship. So there are at least three types of revenue streams that are involved with me being a real estate broker. Those three right there. Then we have my agency, and I'm very fortunate that I have about 35 agents right now. The vast majority of our transactions here are residential sales, although I do have 2 agents that do rentals. And yeah, rentals coming up again. And so there are 2 separate revenue sources from the agency itself. And of course, I like the agency because it allows me to scale. As a real estate broker myself, I can only humanly sell so many houses or do so many rentals or do so many commercial deals a year. But with the agency, it's a much more scalable business because it's just not me myself. It's me and my 35 agents, and they're learning from me, and I'm supporting them. And so it's scalable. And I think that's a huge difference between being what people call a solo entrepreneur versus an entrepreneur. If you're an entrepreneur, you want to be doing businesses that are scalable, whether that's with other people or on platforms like the internet that can work for you when you're not actually working. So if it's just me being Jack Gately, the real estate broker, that's really not scalable because I'm just one person. I want to either be running businesses that leverage other agents and or leverage communication tools like the internet. Which brings us to the real estate school. So when I started the real estate school, it was in this tiny little office down by the Cape Cod Canal. It was called the Canal Real Estate School. And then in late 2016, the state authorized online education, and I realized that this was my chance. Your chance for what, Jack? My chance to scale, because instead of my little 8 or 10 person classroom, I could now teach on the internet statewide. Huge opportunity, the opportunity to scale, leveraging that. So inside the school, we have different products that are additional revenue streams. So there's the salesperson class, there's the broker class, and then there's the continuing education. So what are we now up to? We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different revenue streams already. So this is kind of the core of the business as it exists now, but there are at least 2 other things because for me, as I said, I always kind of get bored. I'm always looking to add something that is in this general vertical. So right now, with the way we have it set up, if one thing is going great, it's okay if another thing's, off season, for instance, or whatever the case may be, because now I've got 8 different revenue sources. So if one slides, usually one picks up. It's kind of like having 9 batters in the lineup. Yeah, so if someone's slumping, somebody else might be hot. I never thought of that batting lineup analogy, but yeah, so that's a good analogy. Way to go, Jack. The next thing on the list is YouTube itself. Right now, YouTube for me is marketing only. I don't make money directly from YouTube, and we're going to talk about that in a quick second, but right now it helps the other things. It helps Jack in my deals, it helps hiring agents, and it helps training my agents, and it also helps drive students to the school. But it's not a direct revenue source yet. Soon. Let me show you. In order to earn revenue from your YouTube channel, you need over 1,000 subscribers. I have 2018. Thank you so much. And you also need 4,000 watch hours in the last year. And right now I'm at 3,375. So, making progress, but not quite monetized. And even if I monetized at this current level of content, posting a couple of times a day, I probably wouldn't be making, maybe just pennies, really. So how much of a revenue source could this be? I don't know. But I think if you stick with it, over time, YouTube can be a significant revenue source. It's going to have to be an adventure. And that's what's great, at least for me, about adding different things, is that not any one of them has to be a grand slam. That would be nice. But it doesn't have to be a grand slam, because what are we up to? About 9 or 10 different revenue streams here. You see the importance, at least for me. Not only does it keep my interest because I get bored, but also it helps because if something, it's that batting lineup analogy again. So right now we have 8 solid revenue streams, and soon YouTube will be the 9th. And over time, not even in 2024, but maybe 25, 26, 27, it will be a solid revenue stream as well. But my expectations for 2024 are really low. Which brings me to our Project X, which is the next kind of big diversification here that we're going to be doing under the Jack Gately Real Estate umbrella. This is a product which will be, how do I want to say this? It's going to be supported by the YouTube channel, supported by the school, and I think it will actually support the agency itself. So there's going to be, what's the word? Synergy. And right now, Project X is in stealth mode. I've actually only shared it with a handful of people, less than 6 people, I think. And eventually, maybe even this month or next month, I might launch it. And I'm really excited about this as being, I think, another revenue source. So soon there'll be 10. Once again, I want to stress that the more tried and true method of building your real estate business is to be narrow and deep, to be an expert in a particular type of thing like Beacon Hill condos or something like that. Not to build it the way I did. The way I built it makes sense for my personality because I would otherwise get bored or distracted, and I just tried to make that weakness my strength. For most people, the best business model is to do it something like this. If you're Mary Smith Real Estate, find a specialty like ski lodges in New Hampshire and then go very deep on that. Okay, so that's it for this video. I had fun. I hope that you learned something. I think I learned something. And we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.